Alright, what's good everyone? DanPlaysTCGs here, coming at you with another YouTube video here, and this time I don't exactly have any gameplay for you, but I'm going to do something that was a pretty good idea I think I had earlier. And this video is going to be for if you've never been to a Magic the Gathering preliminary Pro Tour qualifier before, maybe you don't know what it is, maybe you're just trying to get into the competitive scene of Magic, and you're a little bit unexperienced. Well, I'm here to help you out. I've decided I'm going to make this video for all you maybe newer players out there who are trying to get into the scene and you're looking for some place to start. I think it's possibly, I don't know, I know it's not for everyone, but like playing in Magic tournaments competitively is one of my favorite ways to experience the game. And I feel like if more people checked it out, maybe they like it, maybe they won't. I don't know, but yeah, so I wanted to make this video to maybe give some of you guys who are looking to get into more competitive Magic, maybe start going to kind of local tournaments, start grinding those out. Uh, made this to help you guys out. So I guess I could preface this with I played quite a bit of PPTQs, as I'm gonna call them in this video. They're kind of the main kind of tournament grind. I just said kind of like a billion times, but they're one of the main kind of tournaments that I go and grind. And I've been doing it for quite a while. I currently have 15 top eights of these kind of things, and one win. Like, yeah, they can be a little tough, which is again why I feel like having a good place to start is gonna help y'all out quite a bit. So because I wasn't even top eighting these things for the longest time. Like I messed up quite a bit to learn, as you likely will too, unless you're a quick learner, in which case good for you. But anyway, so uh, again, if you want like more, just I'm gonna link everything I use in this video in the description if you want to check it out. Again, my goal with this video is to give you guys resources. And so if you want to see like the more official kind of things that Wizards has put out about these tournaments, and maybe they explain it a little bit better than me, and you can like look for ones near you. You can check out this site that I started on here. I'm gonna link it. But yeah, preliminary Pro Tour qualifiers. So basically, what this is a lot of your local game stores in your area, maybe in your or yeah, just in your area, are going to be able to have one of these once per season. So seasons are going to change over about every time a new expansion of Magic comes out. And basically, if you win one of these tournaments, you get to go to a regional Pro Tour qualifier. I have one of those coming up myself, and I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. Dreading it just a bit because I've never been to one, but yeah, I'm still looking forward to it nonetheless. So if you win one of these, if you win a PPTQ, you get to go to an RPTQ, and then depending on how many people go to your RPTQ, if you either top 8, top 4, or top 2, you get to go to the Pro Tour. And hey, the Pro Tour is pretty cool. Really good people play at the Pro Tour. One of my goals personally is making it there. So yeah, it's a good time. So that's just kind of where these these tournaments are going to lead in general. And a lot of people go into these, or they're starting out, they're grinding these things because they happen most weekends, depending on where you live, of course. Maybe if there's not a ton of stores in your area, you may not see a bunch of these. But yeah, so that's generally like what a PPTQ is. So now that you know what it is, I'm going to help you guys prepare and get ready for your first one if you want to go to it. So one of the first things you want to do, and this I'm probably not going to link this in the description. I have this here as an example. This is a Facebook page for a store, and you're gonna want to look at this because again, every LGS or just store or something like that is gonna be able to hold one of these once per season, and they're going to probably have an event on Facebook. Even if you don't use Facebook, you could probably look these things up if you just Google the store's Facebook page. Because again, the vast majority of card shops are going to have a Facebook page. So you're going to want to find the event. I don't know if this is one in the future or whatever. It's just here's an example. So you're going to find the event, and just one of the main things is you want to see you have a 10 a.m. registration, 11 a.m. start time. You're going to want to make sure you're on time. That's going to be one important thing. I know it seems really small, but this is this is building blocks. This is where you're going to start. You're going to have an entry fee and then the format. The format. You want to pay attention to the format because I've been to PPTQs before, where it wasn't me, but a buddy of mine sat down to play some dude in standard, not too long ago, and the guy goes turn one Aether Vial, tried to play a Merfolk or something like that, and yeah, so he showed up with the wrong deck format to the tournament. That is one thing about tournament Magic. If you're unfamiliar, you're gonna have to play a format. I don't know if I really want to go into what all the formats are here if you're unfamiliar, but that's something else. It's a pretty easy Google search. So make sure you have the right deck format. Make sure you got the money to enter. Make sure you're on time. And then, again, this is just an example of you can go on Facebook, find the event, and you'll just be kind of looking for this general information right here. Okay, so now that you know when you've decided to go to your first PPTQ, you know when and where. That's the other thing you want to find, like a, I don't think it says it on here, but you want your address and your date and whatnot. So you know when and where, the format. You got your money. You're ready to play. You got it coming up. So this is gonna be this next part is gonna be one of the trickiest parts of preparing. So you're gonna want to choose a deck to play. Now here's the thing. I say, based on my experience, that if you want to go to one of these things and you want to win, then I would adhere to some kind of deck archetype that is within the metagame. That being said, I absolutely think creative, fun like homebrews are always good and all. They may not do the best at these tournaments. People. That's the other thing. When you go to one of these tournaments, some of the best players in your area are going to be there trying to get that spot in that RPTQ. So you maybe if you're trying to play a more fun brew, it may not exactly do the best. I don't know. I can't speak for all fun brews, but either way, it doesn't matter if you're wanting to stick to the metagame or do your own thing. You need to be aware of the metagame, and one of the best ways to do that is looking here on mtggoldfish.com. There's a few other sites you can look at, like MTG Top 8, that lists top 8 decks from lots of tournaments. But MTG Goldfish is good because you can go on here and you go over to the standard metagame, but you do that by hitting decks right here, metagame, and then standards. Usually the first one that opens up. You can pick whatever format you can pick modern. I don't think there's a legacy PPTQs, but you can pick your standard or your modern or whatever format you're going to play, and you'll get a list of what basically here are the best decks. And I think even if you were bringing something that is off the beaten path to a PPTQ, then you need to at least, like I said, be aware of the metagame. Know what you're likely to be up against, because more chances are these players I mentioned, they're probably some of the best in your area, showing up trying to win. They're going to be playing one of these kind of decks. I know I typically adhere to the metagame and are at least aware of it whenever I'm going into one of these tournaments. So you can see that here, mtggoldfish.com. You can also see decks that have recently went 5-0 in online leagues. Those are over here on the side. That can be pretty useful if you're just trying to see a day-to-day kind of thing, because the online meta moves pretty fast. But yeah, you can come here, see the best decks, so you're like, okay, well, I'm it's not really standard season right now, but say, okay, I'm going to standard PPTQ this weekend. I need to be on the lookout for Teamer Energy, Splash Black for Scarab God. That's what the black in there is, I'm pretty sure. You need to look out for Remnant Red, Mardu Vehicles, Mono Black Zombies, Ramp decks, Approach decks, some weird. I don't even know what this. I don't know. Is this deck doing any good right now? I don't know. Blue Black Control. Lots of various control decks. God Pharaoh's Gift. That's been doing good in leagues. So yeah, you may have to scroll a bit, but it's at least be aware. These are the decks that you're probably gonna have to go up against multiple of these, even if you're not playing one yourself. So okay. Let's say, for example, you're like, okay, I like Teamer Energy. We're going to build and we're going to play Teamer Energy at this tournament. So now what you have to do before you go in is play with the deck as much as possible. I know some people got busy schedules. I definitely have a busy schedule right now. But being an experienced pilot with your deck is always important. You're going to make the best plays. You're going to know all the interactions. You're going to know how to sideboard in certain matchups. So just test all you can. Either play the deck online on Magic Online, or hey, maybe if Magic Arena ends up being good, I really hope it is. Maybe if Magic Arena ends up being good, or just go online, test a bunch, or maybe you're not much of an online player. Oh, hey, what's up, Master Bacon? But say go online, test it, or you can play with your play group that in person if you have one of those. And you may be saying right now, hey, Dan, I don't have this deck in paper, and it costs, I don't have any good cards. It costs a whopping $205 to build. I have that amount of money, but what if I build the deck and I don't like it? Well, here's another really cool thing I'm going to teach you about for testing. And you can do this, multiple times over. You can do this with all these decks and just play all of them until you decide one you like, whatever. But I'm going to give you an example here. So you're like, okay, well, I want to test with Team Your Energy because I want to see if I'm going to like it for this tournament. So, is there a way to just get a text file of this actually? Yeah, well, I think we're just going to download it. Okay, cool. So, what you want to do is hit that download button. You're going to copy your text file. And you're going to want to go to mtgpress.com. Again, all these links are going to be in the description. So, mtgpress.com. You're going to paste that deck list right here in the box. You're going to click Build It. And boom, look at this. You got what's called proxies for here's every card in the deck, you got the sideboard and everything. And you can go print this out, put it in some sleeves with some hard cards in the back, and you have a proxied up deck that you can play test with. If you're playing in paper, of course, you don't have to worry about this if you're just going to play online to test. But yeah, so print this out, cut it up, and you can just go to your play group, test this a bunch. Of course, again, you cannot use these proxies in a sanctioned tournament. That's a bit of a no-brainer, but a new player may not know that. But try to be new player friendly here. But yeah, so you can go here, you can print all these out, and you can try out the deck. And hey, maybe you're like, oh, I don't like Team Energy. No, it didn't do very well in testing against my friends or my local play group or whatever. I want to build a different deck. Just alright, let's see what else is good. Ramanap Red's pretty good. Mono Red, Mono Red's always pretty decent. So just go ahead and download that. Do the same old thing that I just did a minute ago. Boom, boom. There's the whole deck. Oh, that's a fancy hazard. There's your whole deck. Print that out. You can just keep doing it as long as you have access to a printer. So that's a good time. So just wash, rinse, repeat until you know what kind of deck you're going to play. And if you're not playing one of these, then hey, maybe you've printed out all those proxies and you can test your own deck against them. See how you're gonna fare whenever you go into that tournament. Okay, so you have so far decided you're going to the tournament. You've made that big step. Which, by the way, if you're thinking about going and you're not sure, absolutely do it. There's no better way to learn this game than just by playing it. And even if you get wrecked for several tournaments for a long time, and you probably will unless you're some kind of prodigy, then you're going to learn, basically, is what I'm saying. Absolutely do it if you're thinking about doing it, because you are going to learn a lot and you are going to get better even if you get stomped. So that's important. All right, so you decided to go to the tournament. You found your date and time and all your information. You looked at MTG Goldfish. You proxied up some decks and you figured it out. So it's the day of the tournament. What's going on? What am I going to do? What am I going to see? So you're showing up, of course, on time. And either beforehand or typically at the store, they're going to have these. And again, linking this as well. You're going to want a deck registration sheet. So these are basically in any sanctioned Magic tournament, you're going to be seeing one of these things. Again, you just kind of fill up, basic information here. I always like putting a fun little deck name there. You're going to fill out your name, your DCI. That's typically the really important part. And then what you're going to do is sideboard. Again, don't really want to explain what a sideboard is, but you're probably going to want one if you're playing in a tournament. You're going to fill out your sideboard. You're going to fill out your main deck, and you're basically just going to have like the quantity of the card in your deck, and then the name of the card. It all gets listed here, and then you're going to turn it into the judge, the tournament organizer, whoever. And again, you can either show up with this already made day of, just hand it in, boom, you're good, or it's very likely that the venue or the store you're going to play in this tournament will have a bunch of these already ready to go for you. So you're going to do that. You're going to fill this thing out. I'm going to close these little text files there. So you're going to fill one of these out. And yeah, and so now I'm just going to basically just kind of describe how, typically just in my experience, how these tournaments go. So you're going to fill this out, and then what will happen first around the start time is you'll have a player meeting. You're going to sit down probably in like an alphabetical order or something like that. Judge is going to just be like, hey, I'm Judge so-and-so. You're at this tournament. Here's a couple announcements. And you should probably listen to them. Judges know what they're doing typically. So you're going to go there. You're going to, why did I say you're gonna go there? But basically, you got a player meeting. Nothing really like too huge is happening there, but listen to your judge, and then the pairings are gonna be posted up for round 1. So of course, that's gonna be pretty self-explanatory. You find your table number, you sit down across from your opponent, make sure they're the right person, and you're gonna play your games. So the amount of rounds, and by the way, just in case you never played in any kind of tournament or anything, you typically have 50 minutes to a round. And whenever the time's up, if you're still going, you have 5 additional turns to finish the game. Judge always yells that out, but and if no one wins, it's a draw. But Judge usually yells all that stuff out, or will just tell you when he comes up to the table. Judges are, for the most part, also, by the way, very helpful. If you have any questions, something I don't cover here, or you're just confused about whatever, I've asked some judges some stupid questions before. Just drop the judge a question. They're there to help you out. And in fact, brief anecdote, I remember when I was newer, I was playing a really bad Mazes in Turbo Fog deck in Standard. I feel embarrassed saying that. But I remember wanting to call the deck on the sheet, The Gates of Hell. And I remember walking up to the judge and be like, Mr. Judge, and I was probably like 16 or something, or 17, I don't know. But I was like, Mr. Judge, can I put hell in my deck name? Oh, it's really embarrassing, but I find that a funny story to tell. But anyway, yeah, so judges are going to answer questions. And where was I? Oh, yeah. So the amount of people there will determine about the amount of rounds you have. I don't know if it's actually written down there, the numbers, but I remember having about a 6-round tournament, having, I think it was almost 50 people. That was the last one I went to that I won. And I think that's a smaller one. If you live in a more populated area, these things can be huge. You're going to have a lot more rounds. But if you live in maybe a smaller area, just less populated, less people, less Magic players, whatever, you may have a smaller turnout, somewhere in like the 30 range, 30 to 50. It all depends on like what kind of location you're going to. But so you're going to have all those rounds, and at the end of those rounds, there's going to be a cut to top 8. Now, if there's something ridiculously small, like 14 people, or maybe like a cut to top 4, I've been in those tournaments before. Yeah, typically there'll be a cut to top 8, and you play in a single elimination round, and then hey, winner that wins the tournament. Nice and simple. I wonder if there's anything else I need to cover of just things you're gonna see. Like I said, there's typically going to be a lot of talent there. Probably some of the best players in your area are going to show up. And again, if you're newer, don't let that intimidate you, because another one of the best ways that you can learn this game is playing against people that are better than you. Back when I was learning, and even still to this day, doing that helps me out just quite a bit. It always helps you get better. So you're going to likely see a lot of those kind of people. And again, this also could depend on where you live. Maybe it's just my experience, but most of the other players and judges and just all that jazz that are around there are usually pretty chill people. So it's a great place to make friends most of the time. I've made most of my friends playing Magic and going to tournaments and whatnot. Anything else I'm trying to think of? I think I pretty much covered anything. So to review, PPTQs, they lead to our PPTQs, which lead to the Pro Tour. They're pretty cool. You should totally go to one. Get the event information on Facebook. Always know what you're doing, how much it is, yada yada yada. Look at the metagame. Be aware of it before you pick your deck. When you do pick your deck, proxy it up. Mess around with it. Or maybe if you already have the cards and you just are a baller, just try that out first. Whatever. But you can make proxies. Day of, you're gonna fill out a deck sheet. You're gonna hand that in to the judge. You're gonna play, and if you make the top 8, awesome. If you don't, well, hey, you know what? Even though you lost, those L's don't stand for losses. They stand for lessons. So, hey, if you top 8, awesome. You're probably getting some cash prize, and it's good times. If you don't, again, lessons. But yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything. And I'll end with saying, like I said before, if you're thinking about playing and you're not sure, definitely go play in one of these tournaments. It is going to help you get better. That is a DanPlaysTCGs. Promise. It helped me quite a bit, and now hey, I won one of these things. I'm getting somewhere. So yeah, I think that is gonna do it for this video. Drop a comment if you still got any questions for me. I'll help you out if I can. Leave a like and a subscription if you feel like it. If you're thinking about doing it, definitely do it. I'm trying to grow my channel here. And follow me on Twitter at DanPlaysTCGs, trying to grow there as well. And lastly, but most importantly, remember to treat your fellow life forms with kindness and respect. That is the most important part. and I will catch you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Yeah, see you guys later.